15 suicide vests have been brought into the area.
Send them! Come on!
Get moving! They need to close right out!
This is the worst place it could possibly have broken down.
I always feel apprehensive. I think if you're not apprehensive, then there's something wrong.
Can you hear me?
Not your fault.
The thing the Taliban will probably never get into their heads is the British Army don't give up.
These are the road warriors, exceptional men and women doing an extraordinary job. They venture all over Helmand province, supplying troops with food, water, ammunition, and anything else they need to survive in the hostile heat of Afghanistan. These convoys are the lifeblood of the British Army, and the Taliban know it.
You just got back your explosions.
One of them was fucking massive, that proper shook the ground.
It's mission critical. We've got to get the stores from A to B for the fighting troops on the ground.
Gav, let's go! You can't stop! Let's go!
In this extra mile, we embark on Operation Commander, Major McIntyre's final mission in charge.
So no helmets off and top covers on your bloody guns.
I think everybody's quite nervous. There's been a shitload happening down in the area we're going to.
We follow his successor as she prepares to take the reins of command.
I think there's a few people about to kick our driver, but I'd like to kick him, but my leg is so dead that I think he's only going to get one slightly weak kick from the other one.
And we reveal how British spy planes save lives in Afghanistan.
If these weren't flying, first thing you'd know is when that ID explodes.
This is the Road Warrior's guardian angel. Before every mission, this British spy plane scours the route for possible threats. From Taliban ambushes and suicide bombers to hidden bombs buried in the sand. The intelligence they provide has a huge impact on the safety of the convoys. On one particular operation, they proved invaluable. Prior to setting forth on a mission to resupply Camp Price with ammunition, then moving on to close down frontline base Gibraltar, intelligence provided by the spy plane revealed the Taliban were getting ready for them.
We were hoping it was going to be relatively secret that we were outloading this camp, but apparently the insurgents may have found it already. So they could have a few things planned for us by the time we get up there.
They know we're coming. It's too easy. Just sit in a compound there, press a button, that's you.
As they passed the scars left from recent Taliban terror, the threat of attack was confirmed.
We have a suicide vehicle-borne bomber looking for Operation Force.
From that moment on, every civilian vehicle had to be viewed as a potential threat. The Road Warriors successfully resupplied Camp Price with ammunition vital for the frontline troops to continue the fight against the Taliban. But they were then met with further intelligence on the enemy. A suicide bomber was reported to be active along their route. Major McIntyre had to take decisive action.
Let's just listen in then, close right in, please. Right, everyone should have been fed and watered and had a reasonable amount of break. What's happening now, we are not going on to the lower Garesh Road.
The decision to bypass a section of their planned route was to prove a crucial one. In the dead of night, the Road Warriors left the safety of camp and headed through the town of Gareshk.
Yeah, we're now just hitting the main part of Garesh now. Very eerie suicide bomber that come out from nowhere. The suicide bomber is out there. This is where he'd be situated in between the buildings so he can get out quickly without us noticing him.
With the night vision devices on, scanning the area, making sure that nothing's going to creep up on us and give us a fright.
There's nasty men out there that want to fucking kill you.
Whiskey 3, just look down that alley to the left-hand side, which you're approaching now. Alley to the left-hand side, Whiskey 3, over.
Although the patrol relies on night vision to help them spot danger, their main source of information is the spy plane overhead. These spy planes are known as unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs. Equipped with night vision and thermal imaging cameras, they provide the convoy with life-saving intelligence about enemy activity and improvised explosive devices, IEDs. They're based at Camp Bastion, and Captain Mark Thompson works alongside intelligence experts to analyze the pictures they send back.
These pick up IEDs regularly and send out teams to go and defuse them. Of course, if these weren't flying, the first thing you'd know is when that IED explodes. But having this foresight, if you like, you can see them digging in IEDs, for heaven's sake. So it's probably saved countless lives. This is one of the ground control stations that operate one of the airplanes that go out to help us out. If we go inside, you can see what these guys can offer us. They have thermal image cameras, they have colour cameras, and also it'll pick up hot spots. So if you're going through built-up areas and we see a vehicle which is hot, as in the engine's been running or just recently turned off, then why would someone be there at that time in the morning?
Vehicle-borne suicide bombers can carry enough explosive to destroy a road warrior's truck.
If a vehicle is approaching at speed and fails to stop, be it with a flare or with a warning shot or with even rounds fired into that vehicle, it's highly likely that there's probably a suicide vehicle-borne IED, and that will ram straight into the nearest vehicle it can, and then it will detonate himself inside the vehicle. Clearly, we never want that to happen, so we would fire as many rounds as possible into that vehicle if it clearly didn't stop.
Back on the patrol, the spy plane had spotted a white car heading straight for the convoy. The road warriors were on course to meet the suspect vehicle head-on.
The operator of the UAV has noticed this white vehicle now transiting down towards the CLP. Now, it's highly likely that he'll stick with him now as he goes down the road. What he'll be looking for is, certainly, is he going to stop? Is he going to get out? Is he going to attach anything, be it a battery pack to an IED? He keeps slowing down for some reason. So the UAV will stick with him now for as long as he can. But he could very well be an innocent guy just going around his business, last thing at night. But yeah, being the only vehicle on the road is going to arouse suspicion for these operators of these UAVs. Right, he stopped again. This could be classed as abnormal. I mean, anyone you see driving down the road and reversing back down again is certainly suspicious.
Alerted to the threat, it became a race to get the 50-strong convoy off the road.
Somebody, you have to turn the close up.
All call signs, this is Roman 34 Alpha. Close up to 30 to 40 metres.
Come on, Gav, let's get up there!
The lead vehicles began turning off into the desert, but the rest of the trucks were running out of time.
Tell me, get a fucking foot down and follow us on our tracks! Fucking suicide bomber's dream, this.
The car was suspected to be packed with explosives.
G the boys up and make sure that they're kept alert. We don't know how long this is going to take over.
Buckle gets in with 100 metres.
At the last minute, the potential bomber pulled over and appeared to lie in wait to ambush the trucks. Thanks to the intelligence provided by the British spy plane, the road warriors had already turned off, avoiding a potentially deadly attack.
It's absolutely key having UAV footage. Now, let's not forget that 99.9% of Afghanistan are friendly towards us and don't mean us any harm. So you have to keep that at the back of your mind. But of course, there's that always point at that 0.1%, which can drive that vehicle straight into one of our vehicles and explode himself.
The patrol went on to successfully close down forward operating base Gibraltar. And after 3 days outside the wire, they returned safely to Camp Bastion, where the road warriors start to prepare for their next mission. All except one. Captain Mark Thompson is heading off for a fortnight's leave back in England. His wife and 3 sons haven't seen him for 5 months.
One is the way the hardest things are, you know, just having the boys by yourself constantly. They've missed Daddy really, you know, quite a lot. Evenings are very lonely times sometimes, you know, when the boys have gone to bed and there's just you sort of sat there waiting for the time to go by. Look, guys, look, who's this? Who is it?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, I'm back. A long time coming that, I tell you. 5 months. But when I came out, they were in great form and ran straight to me. It was brilliant. Brilliant to see. Worth 4.5, 5 months of being away. Seeing them faces, fantastic. Great to see Tracy again. She seems to improve with age. I'm desperately keen to make sure she gets a bit of a break as well, because she's had sort of nearly 5 months really with the guys, and so she's going to be pretty tired.
In just 2 weeks' time, Mark will be back in Afghanistan. Over the past 4 months in Afghanistan, the Road Warriors Operation Commander, Major Al McIntyre, has been responsible for protecting his squadron from the constant threat of roadside bombs.
Through the lane, through left, through the main tape. That's it.
Suicide bombers.
Tonight, what's happening now, we are not going on to the Lower Garesh Road.
And mortar attacks.
Gav, let's go! We can't stop, let's go! As I said, communications, patrol discipline, and keep your distances.
He's now coming to the end of his tour and is preparing to hand over the reins of command.
We'll leave here, still aiming for 0400, and we'll go at the back gate, down the bottom.
I'm the new OC taking over Major McIntyre. It's a bit of a baptism of fire, but yeah, thoroughly looking forward to it.
This is Major Jackie Fletcher's first tour of Afghanistan.
We're just about to undertake the first patrol that I've done. Obviously the boys are quite well into the swing of it by now, so Major McIntyre will take this first patrol out this time, and I'll just watch what he's doing and just work out what's going on really, get a bit of a feel for the situation.
We'll leave the log element, 2 whiskey call signs down in Pimon as the LOs and recover.
I've known him since Sandhurst, so I've known him for at least 14 years, so yeah, I'm hoping he's not going to surprise me too much.
And I'll see you down at Pimon. Thanks.
I can't work out whether I'm excited or apprehensive at the moment, so we'll see how it goes.
It's her focus now to really get to know the chain of command and to sort of right-hand man being the sergeant major. That's very key that they forge that relationship early on.
Aye, the new OC's here, so she'll be in the truck with us.
Sergeant Major Mark Larry Lumsden has been Major McIntyre's right-hand man for 2 years.
It's always different when you get a new boss. So she'll have different quirks and different ways of working, I'm sure, but everybody has to just adapt and work around it and make sure that everybody gets on, doesn't get on each other's nerves. She'll be watching what the outgoing OC does, making her own mind up about how she's going to play things. Just getting used to being in the vehicle and getting to know how we operate as a crew.
Gav, can you lights on?
Major McIntyre will want his final days in Afghanistan to go smoothly and remains focused on the job in hand.
I'm treating it exactly the same as any other operation, but from my perspective, it's been a real joy to actually command these patrols, and I'll be sad to miss it, but it'll be great to get back home and see my family.
I think it's going to be a wee bit strange for him to sort of let go of the ropes, release the reins, sort of thing, pass over his squadron to somebody else. I'll certainly miss his. I'll miss his dulcet tones when he's advising the troops what he wants them to do.
What's he fucking doing? There's fucking shit happening, yeah? Fucking high threat. We're fucking about here. Come on, Gav, let's get up there!
First, he'll have to take on the Taliban in an area infamous for their deadly attacks.
There's been quite a few casualties being taken down there, but it's key, the equipment that we're taking down now, there's some defence stores to reinforce some locations. Very important that we get down there and get in there and deliver sort of aid there. There's ammunition, rations to keep the troops going in there. So that's really my focus, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of small arms fire may come our way.
Major McIntyre will be leading his troops on a 15-mile trip from Camp Bastion to patrol base Pimon, delivering engineering equipment and ammunition. The road warriors know the area well.
There's a lot of shit going down in that area. There's a lot of IEDs, there's a lot of small arms and RPGs.
Let's get going!
3-4 Bravo, okay.
You ready? Let's get in then!
The loads are secured and the road warriors leave Camp Bastion. As the patrol heads across the desert, Jackie is listening to the radio traffic.
And also the others get rather...
Trying to hear what's going on both nets at the moment, so yeah, can't hear very much up the top there on what's happening on the command net, so yeah, it's just trying to position myself in the wagon where I can hear what's happening on both places.
Guys, just slow down slightly.
Yeah, we get very close to people out on tour. If you look here, I'm about 3 inches from the Sergeant Major's backside, so we just hope that he's not been eating too many curries in the cookhouse. I've been in Iraq before, last year, but not doing anything like this. The last time I was doing something like this was in the Balkans when I was a troop commander, so that's a long time ago now. That's probably when I was about 19 years old, so without giving too much away, woman's age and all that, it was about 14 to 15 years ago now. It's completely different conditions from out there where it was snowing constantly, pretty much. Right, I'm going up again.
Jackie will have to get to grips with the unique challenges of the desert terrain. After initial good progress, the convoy has hit soft sand.
What's that driver doing now?
Is he fucking engaged in his deaths? Fuck's sake.
The trucks are struggling, leaving the convoy open to attack.
Fucking... Get on the gun! All call signs, this is Roman 3 for Alpha. Make sure that you're manning your guns properly. We're only about a K from our destination, but unfortunately we just hit some soft sand. And the last thing we want to do is get fixed in a static position. Sharp right, sharp right, sharp right. So the boss is just getting everybody round. We're proving the route for the rest of the trucks. Get them round the obstacle, and then something will recover the other mastiff that's bogged in.
The convoy eventually arrive at patrol base Pimon. Last time Major McIntyre's battalion was here, 2 weeks ago, they came under fire.
Right, get up there, mate. Get on the gun. Just make sure. Fucking hell. You see him in the tree line over there? Jet fire!
Helicopters were called in, and the enemy was driven off. Today, Major McIntyre is worried there may be a repeat attack.
Hey, what are you doing? Whoa, stop!
Some of the trucks are preparing to unload in full view of previous enemy positions.
But where's the enemy threat?
That way, sir.
Is it? We're south.
South, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it worth putting them here, where the other patrol was, and they got fucking...
Okay, so yeah.
There's no way of knowing who is a Taliban fighter. Major McIntyre has taken the decision to place the loads behind the base to provide protection from the enemy threat.
We've just arrived at the patrol base where we're going to drop off the stores. So basically, Al's just coordinating that with the logistics commander at the moment.
For Jackie, it's a first taste of Major McIntyre's style of command.
You two got your weapons? Where's your weapons?
Local activity starts to increase.
Obviously, we've got the force protection out with the threat in that direction, so touch wood, quiet thus far. So, yeah, we'll just get these in as quickly as possible, really, and then turn around again, head back up.
While Major McIntyre organises the trucks, Larry protects the convoy from any potential dangers.
Just making sure we've not got anybody on the horizon, anybody that's popping up in the green zone, anybody that's coming at us too fast that needs to be warned off. Well, there's no guarantees, but you know, you wouldn't come down without this kind of firepower because you'd be inviting trouble.
Today, the Road Warriors' show of force has deterred any Taliban attacks. The supplies are delivered, and they hightail it back to Bastion.
Gas, go!
Oh, shit.
Hello, Roman 3-4 Charlie and Whiskey 3. Let's just keep the pace going now. We've got some momentum, so just maintain the momentum and let's get going for it, over.
Major McIntyre takes the opportunity to give Jackie the benefit of his experience.
I had to get out and say, right, I want 5 there, because they were going to put them to the west-hand side of Pimon. They were going to put them all there, right in the view, because they said, what's the enemy threat? That's why you've got to go into minute detail of what their plan is to offload and load, because otherwise they'll fuck it up.
To avoid previous routes that are more likely to hide buried bombs, the convoy is speeding across open desert.
A bit rough, a bit rough. Is it on behalf of the driver or? I reckon it's driver area.
It's like the surface of the moon here, and we've got a good driver in the front, but you just get bounced around all over the place. I'm not too bad because I'm only about 5'5", so every time I hit the side, it hits my body armour, but for the taller lads, it's just a nightmare. It just hits their hips all the time.
I nearly broke my back when we came across one of the sets of tracks back there. But don't worry, his punishment will be fitting of the crime.
The Road Warriors make it back to Bastion in record time.
Got the loads down pretty quickly, and the trip back was very fast, very fast.
The new Operation Commander has completed her first patrol.
Past the open desert bit and then...
But Major McIntyre isn't letting go easily.
Do you have control of it on the way back?
No, did a fuck. He's not going to relinquish control until he's left. It was a bit of a bumpy ride. It's pretty bumpy out there, actually. There's loads of potholes and things, and you just don't see them. And we were making fairly good speed on the way back, shall we say. So, no, it was quite quick and a bit bumpy. I've got a dead leg. I think there's a few people about to kick our driver, but I'd like to kick him, but my leg is so dead that I think he's only going to get one slightly weak kick from the other one.
The Road Warriors' Operation Commander, Major McIntyre, is coming to the end of his tour of Afghanistan. For the past 4 months, his direct approach
Open the fucking door! Open the door!
has earned the respect of his soldiers.
He leads from the front, so he gets about the blokes. I guess you know where you stand with him.
Get the fucking vehicle behind you, round you. Yeah, we're fucking about here.
It's just going to be weird without having him there. I know we've got a new OC, but you sort of get used to what you've got. It'll be weird with him in there shouting at people and making me laugh.
Fucking tick!
Because, you know, when he gets wound up, I find it quite funny.
His successor, Major Jackie Fletcher, will have to learn quickly. After this mission, she'll be responsible for the safety of the entire squadron.
And I'll just watch what he's doing and just work out what's going on, really, get a bit of a feel for the situation.
Yesterday, she got her first glimpse of Major McIntyre's hands-on command style.
Hey, what are you doing? Whoa, stop!
I mean, Major McIntyre really is just keeping a good grip of everybody. I think the main thing is that he's sort of making sure, just commanding, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, making sure all the soldiers are awake and listening to what they're being told.
Today, Jackie is watching her predecessor's every move.
So no helmets off and top covers on your bloody guns. And I won't be surprised if there is some small arms fire. The sooner we can get in and out of there and clear of Nadia Ali, the better we'll get back up here.
The Road Warriors will be delivering food, water, ammunition and engineering equipment to frontline base Shorkat, 20 miles away in Nadia Ali, a Taliban stronghold.
I think everybody's quite nervous. There's been a shitload happening down in the area we're going to. It's been on the news today. There's been 10 soldiers killed in 8 days. You know, anybody can shoot at you from any of the compounds. They can lay all sorts of booby traps and devices and stuff like that.
A final intelligence update confirms Larry's concerns.
There were 3 IEDs found, and a motorbike was found separate. So they had intended to hit the follow-up to that incident with a suicide ID motorbike.
What time was this?
Yesterday at 17:35. So. The 15 suicide vests have been brought into the area with the specific intent to attack ISAF convoys.
Last time when we came down, the firing points were putting the families on the roofs of the fucking compounds and then firing at us so that we couldn't return fire against them.
It would not be uncommon for them to be able to do a trick like that.
The trucks are ready to head out. This is when the nerves can set in.
Yeah, the anxiousness kicking in now.
Lance Corporal Michael Mick Dundee Harvey is a Territorial Army volunteer.
Start getting the jitters, I think. I think that's the best way to put it. Once we're moving, we're all right. The fear of the unknown, I think. Don't know what's going to happen. We've just had a bit of an update there, and we seem to be expecting, or should I say, the big boss man there wouldn't be surprised if we get small arms. I won't say I'm looking forward to that, to be honest with you. I'm in a big target, I'm a big truck. Right, moving now.
No matter how high the threat is, the mission must be completed. Without these supplies, all frontline operations would come to a standstill.
We go out there and we deliver everything from bullets and beams to like generators. Everything that we deliver has an impact on the people that we're delivering to. As everything is a small cog in a big machine. Everything that we deliver is needed. Smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Yeah, bye-bye. They're here having a nice warm shower tonight, and we're going to be out in some crappy sandy hole. The jitters have gone now. I'm just ready for driving. Just keep an eye on that track. Keep an eye on the track.
The convoy is heading across the western desert before moving into the dangerous roads of Nadia Ali to reach frontline base Shawkat. Jackie is relishing the prospect of taking command.
Something that I'd wanted to do since I was about 13 years old, and I joined at 17 when I left school. And to be honest, much as the heat and the dust and the smells and everything else, it doesn't really get much better than this, to be honest. Yeah, maybe I'll be here in 10 years' time, maybe I won't, but it's pretty challenging, and every day's different.
At the very head of this huge desert snake,
They need the stuff, and we need to get it to them.
is driver Private Adrian Tats Whitten.
We've got to go down, make sure the route's like safe and clear of any IEDs or mines.
IEDs, improvised explosive devices, are buried bombs hidden in the sand. These stealth assassins bring the front line to the road warriors.
It's a bit more dangerous because we're out in the front and anything could happen, really. We could drive over a big bomb, but if it happens, then it happens, and we'll just do what we need to do to get it done.
Only 1 hour into the operation, the threat of buried bombs has forced Tats to stop. A clearance team is deployed to search the area, a nerve-wracking process called Op Barmer.
Barmering is when 3 or 4 guys get out with the equipment that they need and making sure they sweep the road and the sides, make sure there's no things that shouldn't be there, and I'll follow them behind. The dog will get out as well to help with the searching.
They're at the front of the patrol, and they're ensuring the security of the rest of us. So, they don't know if they're going to get hit. They don't know when they're going to get hit. So the bravery that they portray, and the professionalism, in conducting the clearances, is second to none.
If a truck drives over a hidden bomb, the Under Armour plating gives the driver a fighting chance of survival. But these soldiers don't have anything to shield them from the impact.
It's a hard job, and you know, I'm sure the adrenaline's going and the heart's pumping when they're doing it. You know, I take my hat off to them, you know, for doing that job.
The search team confirm the area is cleared of explosives, and the convoy manoeuvres into a holding pattern known as a Liga. Before any of the trucks can go into Nadia Ali, the unmanned spy plane is deployed to check the route ahead. It'll be looking for enemy ambushes and IEDs, improvised explosive devices.
We've bombered the area into the Desert Liga, which effectively means we're going to bring the vehicles in 2 lines. The problem that we've got is the unmanned aerial vehicle has spotted what it potentially is 2 IEDs being implanted on our route. So we're going to have to wait until that's been dealt with as well.
Whenever bombs are discovered along the Road Warriors route, bomb disposal teams are sent to carry out controlled explosions like these. These bombs are a Taliban tactic designed to disrupt the convoys and kill the Road Warriors. As the convoy heads for Nadia Ali, Commander-in-Waiting Jackie contemplates her new role.
I think I'd be foolish not to be daunted by it. I think if you took this lightly, then you're probably in the wrong job. This is something which we've ultimately trained for in the military. It's a bit in at the deep end, but there's probably no better place to learn my skills and trade and whether all these years of training have worked properly rather than out here. So I can't wait to get in. I mean, I feel rather privileged, to be honest.
The Road Warriors are entering Nadia Ali at nightfall. Their route is a treacherous one. The Taliban could strike at any moment.
It's got a really distinctive smell coming off the trees around it. Every time I smell that smell, I know I'm in Nadia Ali, like, very eerie, very eerie. I think the aim here is to get in there as quick as we can, do a hasty unload and get out before they even realise we're there. I think that might be wishful thinking, to be honest, when you're driving a big diesel engine.
At the front of the patrol, Tats is setting the pace.
How are you finding it, Tats?
Fucking stupid. Fucking hate driving lights.
Hard work?
Yeah.
You've got at least 8 hours more driving like this at night. Across small roads, right next to canals. When Tats is negotiating tight bridges and tight turns,
I've only got a little square, so I can't see left and right or behind, so I've just got to try my hardest not to go off the road.
You just better not go and roll it down, Tats, that I've gone and picked you up, you know what I mean?
There's no room for error. Alongside the road is a 9-foot deep canal.
You go in here, especially up near the weirs, you're never going to come out of there.
I can see a dark ditch there to my right.
It's not just the route that's proving problematic. The terrain is taking its toll on the vehicles too.
We've come and stopped. The truck in front of us there has just broke down. We're just finding out if we can get a recovery call sign to come and tow him. Yes, mate.
Push it.
With what, mate? With a straight bar?
What we're doing is put a straight bar on, push it so he can go left, go past him.
Right you are. I don't like ad hoc plans like this. This is the worst place it could possibly have broken down, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edge forwards to him.
Push nice and slowly. Put it in first gear, go nice and steady.
Roger dodge.
While Mick struggles with the broken down truck, the front of the 50-vehicle patrol has reached Shawkat. Major McIntyre wants to unload quickly.
Send him! Come on! Okay, so let him go. As soon as he goes, you go, yeah? Yes, sir. Good lad. You can tell that buffoon to get his side and tail on.
Jackie's also getting stuck in.
Can you get on the PRR and tell the guys in the back to get
some of us like to dissect their brains. But
Yeah, crazy fools.
You need to fucking sort the lights out fucking now.
And make sure they've got side and tail lights on. Some of them are trying to do this in the dark.
It's taking slightly longer than anticipated, but not surprising. So really trying to influence the situation, get the loads shaken out and really instill a sense of urgency so we can get in and out in good order.
But breakdowns are scuppering Major McIntyre's plans. Tats's lead vehicle has fallen victim to the tough terrain.
It's got a flat tyre. Probably going over a bump too quick.
To take the tyre off, the bar armour has to be removed. No easy job.
These things happen. It's just trying to get this flat changed is a bit of a ball ache for the guys, to be honest.
Fucking pain in the ass. All this bar armour's got to come off here, then you've got to lift the plate armour there. You need to pick up the pace.
No, we don't.
You're not aware there's more. Hopefully get this wheel back on now and then we'll be good to go again. That's it, job done. It's good to go again.
With dawn fast approaching, the road warriors are running out of time if they want to get out before sunrise.
There's a real imperative because of the enemy threat to get ourselves moving as soon as we can now. We're starting to push up against the first light, so we do need to get moving.
The road warriors have embarked on Operation Commander, Major McIntyre's last mission in Afghanistan.
Guys, just slow it down slightly.
They're delivering food, water, ammunition and engineering equipment to frontline base Shorkat in Nadia Ali, a Taliban stronghold infamous for its narrow paths and enemy threat. Due to the amount of Taliban activity in the area,
anybody can shoot at you from any of the compounds. They can lay all sorts of traps and booby traps and devices and stuff like that.
the road warriors are attempting to complete the whole mission at night.
First 5 minutes to go.
But despite Major McIntyre's best efforts to get it done before sunrise,
Send him! Come on! As soon as he goes, you go, yeah? You can tell the fool to get his side and tail on. You need to fucking sort the lights out fucking now.
breakdowns have slowed them down, and the troops are beginning to flag.
I've had enough now. I've had enough of playing war games. Want to go back to bed.
Even the new commander, Jackie, has succumbed to fatigue.
She's a bit tired. She's still acclimatising herself. And so this is probably the first stop that she's been on. Because she's not commanding, probably she's not, she needs to get her head down. And so if I need to get my head down later in this patrol, she can cover. But usually when I'm out, I'll pretty much stay awake the whole time just to keep the lads going. But also, as I said, there's a lot happening in my mind that helps keep me awake. But yeah, it's a long old day.
Go straight back to the football pitch.
The delays mean their journey back to Bastion will be at first light, the favourite time for Taliban attack.
So the last of loads in now. So reconfigure, get back in the order of march, try and get out of here before all these nasty wee bastards wake up.
Yeah, is it? We're putting this back on as well, nice and light.
Larry hasn't had a good night.
Fucking shitting myself. Me and Big Ash were walking across there last night and there was fucking packs of wild dogs. You could hear them all howling and fucking coming towards us. All we had was a pistol each with 10 rounds each in it.
This is what he was up against.
They might look like cute dogs now, but they weren't cute dogs last night when it's pitch black on here. And all you could hear was them growling and howling and fucking snuffling about as me and Big Ash were trying to fucking set this place out. I wasn't scared. Were you scared? Were you scared?
I'm shit myself. I even took my clip off my ulster just to
Look, that big fucker's looking at you.
As the road warriors manoeuvre out of the frontline base with containers full of salvaged parts from vehicles hit by Taliban attacks, Mick's mind is focused on the real enemy.
These locals get up at the crack of dawn, as in now. I don't really like the thought of being here in possible Taliban country, right on their doorstep when they wake up in the morning, because they might take offence to that. I prefer coming in darkness and leave in darkness.
But there are compensations to a dawn departure.
On the whole, it's a lot easier to drive on when you can actually see it.
After a long, tense night, the road warriors leave the threat of Nadia Ali behind. Major Jackie Fletcher has a chance to reflect on her first experience of life in Afghanistan.
There's nothing really prepares you for these conditions. You've got to take it quite slowly when you arrive because it's just so hot. You've just got to get your water intake right. The dust, it's like talcum. It's finer than talcum powder. It's like a porcelain dust, and it just turns to kind of clay on your face as soon as you start sweating. So, yeah, it's pretty horrible. There's a bit of a wind blowing up there as well today, so it's swirling about quite a lot. Visibility is not particularly good for the drivers. There we are. That gives you some idea of how hot things are.
I had good friends that have done similar hot tours in dusty conditions, and the advice that they give to me was if you want to train for this heat, turn your fan-assisted oven on and stick your head in near the door when you open it. I thought they were joking, they really aren't. Look out of there, don't you just long for some green grass?
20 hours after leaving Camp Bastion, the road warriors return.
That's us in camp now, innit? Happy days.
Done and dusted.
Another CLP in the bag.
Yeah.
That might could come off. Another day, another dollar.
Major McIntyre has successfully completed his tour of Afghanistan.
I think we've done pretty well. Really proud of them. For each sort of passing month, it's got more difficult because the enemy threat, just the ferocity of them. You know, they're a pretty determined enemy, and you know we pretty much well respect them. But you know we're pretty slick here as well. We've got good drills. It's a good command team, and I'm sure they'll carry that on. I think the Major Fletcher, she's good to go now.
The end of it is, I
think every OC is probably going to judge their tour by, firstly, what they've achieved, but most importantly, I think, getting the blokes back safely. I think he's going to be pleased with what he's done, but he's got a young family, so I'm sure he'd be quite pleased to be heading back home and moving on to other things.
Major McIntyre can now look forward to his next posting at the Ministry of Defence in Whitehall.
I'm sure he'll leave theatre with his head held high, you know, that he's completed exactly what he set out to do, which was to take all the boys from UK, train them, get them out here. But once we're out here, he could leave, making sure that he still had all his soldiers.
I leave with very fond memories, a heavy heart. You know, it'll be hard to actually finally get on that plane, but I'm sure Major Fletcher and the Sergeant Major will take care of them. And I'm sure, you know, it's not farewell to them. I'm sure we'll pass across later on in my army career.
Next time on Road Warriors The Extra Mile.
They've engaged someone at work.
Can you fix it, can you?
Just got like sick feeling in my stomach.